United States. And you obviously know these two wrestlers pretty good, Jimmy.
Well, you know, I've coached Nate last year, and I've worked with Andre Metzger, who has been wrestling Fadzaev for the past 2 or 3 years. And this was a matchup that I thought we were going to have in Seoul last year. Was going to be one of the matches of the decade. Fadzaev has never been beaten in international competition, a 3-time world champion, Olympic champion. And Nate last year was wrestling as well as I've ever seen anybody wrestle. And I was looking for this matchup last year, and hopefully it'll be a great match today.
And there was some talk that maybe Fadzaev wouldn't wrestle Nate Carr. Carr here in the blue singlet, that he may avoid him and wait for the world championships in Switzerland later this year.
Well, I think he's got a style, and the conflict of styles always maybe is to Fadzaev's advantage because he's very solid, very methodical about his techniques. And to give Nate that chance to feel him out and to see what kind of action he's going to create during this match, maybe that's a possibility. But this is an important championship for World Cup, and I think that they're going to have all their guns out there today.
Well, you might have heard the crash there as Nate Carr's head banged into the side of Fadzaev's head. He stunned him a little bit, and they're going to stop this match. 4 minutes and 32 seconds to go. I don't think there's any question, Jimmy, that this is going to be a very physical match.
There's no doubt about that. Nate's one of the most powerful and explosive wrestlers I've ever been associated with. And I've not only heard the crack there, I've felt that one before in workouts with Nate. And it's very physical.
There's a move. He didn't finish it, but he kind of steps around one side, ducks the other side, and he could really end up with an aggressive throw on that one, but Fadzaev counters out of it.
Well, that's one of Nate's patented techniques, where he hits that duck under and steps across to the body lock. And he pinned Metzger in the Olympic trials with that particular technique, and I think that Fadzaev's worried about that technique.
Of course, Andre Metzger was the wrestler in this weight division for a long, long time, and Nate Carr beat him off the team to make the Olympic team this past year, and has obviously right now is in this weight division, and the one we'd look to be around. We're looking to him to 92. Is he going to be in there?
Well, I think there's a possibility in that. I think what we just saw here with Fadzaev attacking the leg and trying to drive Nate out of bounds is going to be the strategy for Fadzaev. I think Nate, his style of backing up and then counterattacking and backing up and trying to get the man leading into him, into his attack, is Nate's forte, but it's also kind of against the philosophy of international wrestling. They want you to stay in the center. They want you to stay out of the red zone. And I think if I was Fadzaev's coach, that's one of the things I would try and do to beat Carr. I would try and crowd him, try and drive him through the zone and score those cheap points. And you'll see this here. He'll drive, and it's going to be a very tactical match, I think.
They're kind of half shots. Nobody really committing all the way through. One caution right now against Carr. Carr was a 3-time MC2A champion, and I think it's kind of unusual. He's got a real good mental attitude about this competition. Every time you talk to him, he's real positive that he's the guy that can do the job. And I think when you're wrestling somebody who's never been beaten in international competition, that's quite an attitude. But Fadzaev in on the leg, scores the takedown. Well, they're going to give the 2.
He turned him and touched his elbow. I think that's a critical situation there. He can't get turned here. If he gets turned here, it could be
twice.
That's an ankle cross. Fadzaev has been one of the innovators in that technique the past few years, and one of the reasons he's won 3 or 4 world championships is that particular crossed ankle. You can continue to use that hold as many times as you can. It's not like the gut wrench where you're limited to 1.
He did it twice, but they called the second one out of bounds, so it's only a 2-point. The score right now is 4-0. Some quick action there puts Fadzaev out in the lead. 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go in this period and the match. Right now, the Soviet Union is leading in matchups here. They've won 3 matches to the USA's 1.
Nate's going to have to pick up the tempo here and create some action, because Fadzaev will hang out and let the time run out more. It's a difficult situation to come back.
Well, they're calling a caution against, that's his second caution against Fadzaev, but he has the only points. It'd be very unusual to caution him out of the match. Big upset in the last weight class at 136.5 pounds. A little controversy there too, Jim.
Well, I believe, the rule says, and I went to the officials' indoctrination meeting before the tournament, that if the judge and the referee agree on the call, the match chairman cannot change it. And that's exactly what happened in that last bout. They changed the match, they changed the score, and that's why John ended up losing 2-1. That should have been an overtime match.
Well, you can't change that. We've learned the politics of officiating, particularly in the international style. It goes up as a win for Stefan Sarkisian, and a loss for John Smith. right now, Fadzaev here at 149.5 pounds, showing why he's won the World Championships 4 times and the Olympics, and why he's never lost an international style. He isn't letting Nate Carr even score. 5-0.
He's a tremendous position all the time. He doesn't make mistakes. He stays in his stance. He controls the tie-ups. Nate's only chance to win now is to get an attack and drive Fadzaev out of bounds while under attack for the 3rd caution. They're not going to give it to him. He's going to have to drive him out of bounds. And as you see, Fadzaev will give up the 1, and he'll just he's buying some time now. The match is over.
Well, we've watched Nate Carr already in this competition take some 5-point throws, those high amplitude throws, so he still can be very dangerous, and you can't concede anything to him, but that 4-point lead is quite a cushion right now for a world champion like Arsen Fadzaev.
With 35 seconds to go on the match, it would be hard for me to see Fadzaev getting in a position to be thrown. He'll give up another point, another 20 seconds off the clock. He does have to wrestle. That 3rd caution looming over his head. There we go. Oh, he's got the arm trap.
That body lock step behind there.
The arm trap, the gut wrench is there.
But he only gets 1. It was very close to a back exposure, but only the takedown awarded. Score right now 5-2 with 21 seconds to go. They're going to leave Fadzaev down on the mat, give Carr an opportunity to turn him. I think he would have rather been on his feet.
It would have been to Nate's advantage to be up. There's no question about that.
13 seconds to go. They're back up to their feet now. 2 cautions for Fadzaev, 1 for Nate Carr. Score is 5-2. The only thing that can do it is a big move. Is there time? Can he set it up? Time runs out. There it is. It was the first 2 points that were scored by Fadzaev. Took him to his back, scored the 2, laced up the legs, stepped it back over the top. A lot of torque here in the process of turning him over, and when you're caught in that, it's very hard to get out of it.
It's difficult to defend. I mean, once you're trapped and he's got the ankles crossed, there's the duck under to the body lock, and Fadzaev turned out of it this time. You know, he's giving up, conceding the 1 point, but not giving up the big throw, which could change the outcome of the match.